back to the fence, and that's gone.
There it is. Ace to win the set. It's caught. 20-10. Touchdown.
This is going to be in the gap.
Score! Yes! Score! Go to the deflection. The Andover Huskies win their first state championship.
One additional reminder for all youth in attendance.
Athletic field tonight. It is girls high school lacrosse coming your way here on QCTV. Thanks across the Northwest Metro and across the U.S. for joining us here for this exciting battle coming to you. We got Maple Grove and the Crimson come into the record of 7-2-1, a team that's averaging 14 goals per game. They've produced 142 goals this season. And then Andover Huskies and senior night. Andover comes in with a mark of 4-7. Trying to get things right tonight. They'll have a couple of key players that will not be in action. Of course, a couple of those include their top scorers as well. And we're going to get you set with all of those lineups and everything as we get going here in just a moment. But we do have in place here, again, two of the players that will be out will be Merrill Delage along with Izzy Micah. They have announced the starters as well for both of those teams. And meanwhile, for Maple Grove, we'll get you those just before they begin here. They'll be in goal Abby Querum. Querum heading her way to Northern Michigan for some college lacrosse next season. You will see, by the way, the Crimson in the dark uniforms moving right to left. Meanwhile, on an attack will be Lillian Iverson. And then also Jade Isaacson, number 2, a junior. Number 6, Elizabeth Peruse. And followed by Sosie Van Wyck. Grace Erickson, a senior defender. Also number 9, Emma Roach. Followed by Jordan Range, an attacker. And Hadley Kudla, as well, a midi junior. Followed by Hannah Johnson, a freshman starting on defense. And then it's, of course, Riley Dunn, the leading goal scorer this season for the Crimson with 43 goals. And Ava Kennedy, a freshman as a midi. We'll get you the Husky starters here momentarily well as we have the draw. And it will go first whistle. And the ball given away back down here to the Crimson. As I mentioned, the Crimson have put up a total of 142 goals this season. 52 have come for the Crimson in this first quarter. They have outscored their opponents 52-25 in the first. They're going to work it around back to the X spot as the Crimson work it around the perimeter and try to get situated here. Meanwhile, for Andover, a team this year that's been kind of decimated by some injuries and also by a lot of underclassmen and some graduates last year. First goal of the game goes to Crimson. Scoring will be Lily Iverson. Number 1, Lily Iverson gets credit for that first goal for the Crimson. Quickly underway and not wasting any time to take possession here. Lillian Iverson with her 18th goal of the season gets it going for the Crimson early on, just a matter of 44 seconds in. 4-7. 4-7 Huskies, averaging 8 goals per game. First period, or first goal rather, they have been outscored they've outscored their opponents 23-19. Moving it back, Crimson making another quick run. You look up and they're on their way. Trapped and disrupted just inside the 8. Now they'll work it back out the far side. Near side here again, players to watch out for. Riley Dunn, number 39. 43 goals this season. In the middle, some congestion, kicked back out. Meanwhile, the goalie for the Huskies tonight will be Lucy Morgan. Morgan comes in with a mark of 2-5, a goals against of 10, and a save percentage of .466. A scramble there, scooped up just in front of Morgan. And Lucy Morgan will try to find the opening and get an outlet pass there. 7-2-1 for Maple Grove. Their tie came against Benilde St. Margaret, their last game. Benilde is certainly one of the top teams. We'll get to the state rankings here as this game unfolds as well. And it's a team that they lost to last year in this section championship as well. The game was probably a little frustrating, having a chance to speak with first-year head coach Grace Ford. That there was about an hour delay in that game before got back, tied it, and they did not decided to cancel the rest of the game and keep it a tie. So there was no additional overtime opportunity there. Ball drops in front, picked up, and that'll give us a perfect time to get you some numbers on the Crimson goalie. Abby Querum. 7-2-1 on the season, has allowed 81 goals. Meanwhile, she has a goals against of 8.53, a save percentage at 401 shutout the season for Querum. Huskies in the white had a brief opportunity there, snuffed out by Querum. Huskies trying to pick up the ground ball, but get in there first. The Crimson. They'll work it behind the cage now from that Y spot and try to move it back out front. A scramble there is picked up now on the run. Here comes Andover. Moore in far side trying to work it. Finnis is on the near side. We'll see if she makes a cut as they get things set here. Huskies set it up there in that Y spot, looking to operate and looking for cutters, looking to tie this early here in this first quarter. 44 seconds in. The Crimson found the back of the net. Goal by Lillian Iverson. Working it back around near the arc of the 12. Now a quick cut inside, quick shot, beautiful save into the goalie net. Wow. Well done there, unleashing that quick shot for the Huskies and unable to convert and move it on. Micah again out for tonight for the Huskies. And Delage, the leading scorer of the season for the Huskies with 32 goals. There's a chance right now. Rattles the sides of the net. Maybe a carom off the post. Addison Finnis, a senior out there, 3 goals. Familiar, a member of the hockey team as well. She has 12 goals. And then Eden Lensmeyer, 10 goals there now. There's a slow roller, not a slow roller, but a snap roller that got underneath the garage door that time and beats Morgan. A quick runner, finding the gap and finding now a 2-0 lead for the Crimson. I believe that was going to be by Riley Dunn, who picked up the goal. We'll get a confirmation here momentarily, but I think that was Dunn. 2-0 lead early here for the Crimson. Goal number 44 for Dunn on the season. Currently 10th in the state with that goal. That moves her into number 10 in the state in terms of ranking and goals scored. On the season last year, she ended up with 24 goals. And that as a freshman with the Crimson. 6.5 to play here in the first. Thanks for joining us. At midfield, getting ready for this draw. The tie there, taking that draw. Time and time again, you see that. That was Mady Schreifels. This controlled off that now by the Crimson as they get things set up. Fast moving squad. And speaking with the head coach for Maple Grove, asked who would you say is probably has most impressive burst speed. And without a doubt, she made to stop there and right there without a doubt. Another goal for the Crimson. An early 3-0 lead, 5:54 to play here in the first. And Dunn picks up her second here in the first. Got some great information as well by her father on the sideline, Ryan Dunn. Appreciate that. Quickest burst, fastest player, someone to keep an eye on. Grace Ford said was Grace Harrison.
Also does not have an appendix, and her favorite color is pink.
So Dunn with 2 goals. Another by Iverson. 3-0 for Crimson. Another draw here at midfield. This one is going to be taken by Lensmeyer, Eden Lensmeyer.
At the front gate for all youth.
Of course, the head coach for the Andover Huskies. Impressive career record, and it's built a great program. Brad Geis graduated 5 seniors last year off the squad, 4 of which were starters. And that's tough to do, including their goalie, Eva Larock Bach. So some big shoes to fill this season for them, and then combined here with injuries. A couple of their top scorers that they'll do without tonight and get them ready for postseason play, which is just around the corner. Andover takes it now deep to the corner, behind to the X spot, eludes a grab there from Cradle for Andover. They'll regather as we are just now south of 5 minutes to play here in this first. Crimson trying to defend, trying to find a gap there. Pops up in the air. Pass almost a turnover there, but Lensmeyer tries to settle the ball. Now she'll pick it up, scoop it, and now try to make a pass back behind. Now coming out in front, kind of a critical scoring area here. Trying to find a gap, a quick spin cycle move there by Andover. It's moved up, and now the loose ball. We get a whistle. It's awarded back to the Huskies. They'll get a free possession here from the 12. A drop back. Lensmeyer looks for the gap, has one, fires it, finds the back of the goal. 3-1 deficit now. First goal of the evening for Eden Lensmeyer. Lensmeyer connects, and her 11th of the season. Take another look, and they're getting back. Just 4 and change remaining here in the first. The Huskies tally their first goal.
Entering the game for the Huskies, number 44, Annabella Olsen.
A laser that time coming from Lensmeyer to pick up her 11th of the season. She's also one of the team leads in ground balls. We saw she executed that well by picking up, scooping up that ground ball, getting the possession back, and then snapping one just past Curum, the senior goalie for the Crimson. Another draw here, this one by Lensmeyer as well. I'm trying to get the number. Spot here for Maple Grove, and we'll drop it back. It's a quick possession, quick run, explosive move, moving it down now, trying to set up in the X spot behind the net, the Huskies. Huskies trying to get back to those winning ways as They've dropped their last 4 games. In front now, trying to snap one and deflected just wide of the mark. They're going to award that back to Andover. Moving in from the Y spot out in front, trying to get to the scoring area out in front. We get a whistle. Foul's been called. This will be a free possession from the 12, or excuse me, from the 8 for Andover. Getting ready to make the run. A fire in this time, just off the mark. Quick whistle as he gets back in play. Some use with the stick.
Senior Annie Finnis coaches girls youth lacrosse, and she's a farm girl in disguise.
Now from the side hash mark there, and the 8-meter free possession drops it back. Lensmeyer's looking for just a sliver to get that shot off. Well detained and protected there by the Crimson D. Bounce back, it looks like Engler trying to move in behind. A little weave up top, that's controlled by Schreifels. Schreifels sends it back down low to the side. Lensmeyer is denied. Good defense again by the Crimson. Just under 2 to play. Here in the first, it is a 3-0 lead, a 3-1 lead for Maple Grove. Deflection there, awarded, and this will go to Maple Grove. Maple Grove, the 2 losses for Maple Grove this season. Tough losses, a 19-18 loss to Eden Prairie, and then an 18-6 loss to Prior Lake, of course, one of the top programs in the state, and of course that 8-8 tie to Benilde. Crimson trying to reverse it, trying to reciprocate and get that 3-goal lead back before the end of this first. Pass misses up top, hustling to it first to scoop it up. Set back. And now in. A look. Lensmeyer picks up. Moving it coast to coast, and now along the side, she tries to get a run unleashed. Starts it back to the D. The D reverse the field and bring it now to the near side. Finnis was looking for it there, trying to get that pass. Deflected, and now back into the cradle of Crimson. Maple Grove moves it across midfield now, down below, now trying to set it up around the perimeter. Moving it just deep again and sends one in. What a shot. Are they gonna, did they wave that off or they gave us the goal? They did. That was from a tough angle and unleashing a filthy shot that time for the Crimson, and they certainly do reclaim that 3-goal lead. Now lead 4-1 with 17 seconds left here in the first. Thanks for joining us on this QCTV. Girls High School Lacrosse. Gorgeous Monday night. Another draw here. We will take a break at the end of this first quarter, at which time I'll also get clarity on who scored that last goal. Some of the numbers make it a little difficult to read up here. So Crimson control again off the draw. They're going to try to see if they can rally for one more here before the end of the first. Seconds just remain. Faking right, going left, moving in, pushed, and then to shot taken. And time has expired. Good pressure that time, unable to close it. That was Sosie Van Wyck with that attempt. We are at the end of one complete. It is a 4-1 lead for the Crimson over Andover. We'll return with the second quarter in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Jason Baumuk, and I'm the Parks and Streets Operations Manager here at the City of Andover. The City of Andover is a growing community, and the Park and Recreation play a vital role in the residents' quality of life and well-being. Resident volunteers serving on the Park and Recreation Commission have been an invaluable asset in growing our park system to over 67 city parks with 32 miles of trail connecting them all together. Most recently, the Commission has been responding to residential development within the city by planning for neighborhood parks and advising the City Council on other related topics such as park improvements and recreation. The Commission also promotes recreational programming within Andover's parks by working with the youth athletic associations to provide excellent facilities for games, practices, and tournaments, and events such as hosting movies in the park. If you are interested in serving on the Park and Recreation Commission, please fill out an advisory commission application form available on the City of Andover website. Applicants should have an interest in public policies, a willingness to learn, and good problem solving and communication skills. Meetings are held the first and third Thursdays of every month at 6 p.m. in the council chambers here at Andover City Hall. So feel free to stop into a Park and Recreation meeting to see what it's all about.
Welcome back. Ready for the second quarter of play here from the Andover Athletic Field. Joe Rulin along with QCTV. This is girls high school lacrosse. It's Maple Grove led by no other than Riley Dunn, who has come up with 3 goals in the first period, along with a goal by Lily Iverson. Iverson's 18th of the season. The lone goal for Andover in the white was picked up there by Lensmeyer. 4-1 here. You get a look at a kind of a recap of some of those goals that were scored. Meanwhile, just give you an update for Andover. The starters for Andover tonight will include number 7, Addison Thinnis, along with number 20, Maya Engler. There you get a look. The starters, along with Emma Collins, Eden Lensmeyer, Izzy Micah. She was one of the starters listed, along with Merrill Delage, but is not playing tonight, both of those because of injuries. Aaron Walsh, also a starter. Riley Klein, Mady Schreifels, followed by Paige Howley. In goal, Lucy Morgan. And, of course, another attacker there is Natalie Reif. So those the starters on senior night here at Andover High School. Huskies like to get one win and then stack another, with Haken into section play, and there's a goal. Lighting the lamp and getting it rocking for the Huskies. She was circling a lot in that first, and Schreifels with a filthy laser, able to beat a tough goalie in Quirum. Back to just a 2-goal deficit now for Andover at 4-2. Good win for Schreifels, by the way, her 4th goal of the season. Goal number 4 on the season. Set here. Again, you got to stay with that pace because they like to play at a quick, rapid pace, the Crimson. The reason they've been able to produce 142 goals this season, that's 14 goals per game. They outscored Andover 4-1 in the first. That means they've outscored their opponents 56-26 in that first period. Have the Crimson moving it near side. That's Isaacson kicking it back to that X spot. Now moves it to the Y, back again behind the net. Little give and go back, couldn't connect with the cradle. Couldn't clean it to clean. Lensmeyer gets it, sends it back to Morgan. Morgan, a clean pass up top, but then off. There it is, off the crane of that time of, again, the Huskies picked up, stepped in front there by the Crimson. Trying to wheel and deal and get something going here. Tried the low shot, now picks it up. Tries to hit the gap, but it's closed up quickly. Just like those elevator doors. Close up the gap, now down low. Now Crimson will start it up again with 10:15 to go here in the second. There's some action and we'll get a whistle. They'll pick up the stick and reset. From the hash, this will be an 8-meter. An 8-meter free possession. Tries to go low, then move it up top. Beautiful save. Deflected enough there by Morgan, unable to control. That means the Crimson will set it up behind their net. Behind the net of Andover. Trying to move it out in front of the scoring area here. We'll get class rankings here. Midway through the second. Give you some updates. Of course, a tough matchup on Wednesday. We'll get you that for the Crimson. Trying to stop and pop and unleash a shot here, but bracketed there well and nicely by the Huskies. Trying to reset. As they do, down low. Iverson had it momentarily. She was the first goal of the game. Sends it back down behind the spot to net here. South of 9 to play in the second. On the near side. Well defended thus far by Andover. A shot there is taken. I believe the initial block. And now controlled by Lucy Morgan. Morgan looking for a good, clean outlet pass to get things moving. Circling back in front. Just not a lot of movement. Almost looks like a gathering at about the 30-yard line. Now they try to break out and come back for the ball to the Huskies. Near side, trying to make a run here and explode. That's Thinnis. Addie Thinnis gets by one Crimson player. Gets by another, is kind of guided out of play, and they'll keep the play rolling, or they're going to make her come back. Where the infraction occurred there by the Crimson. Thinnis gets it going. Her 3 goals, 1 assist this season, 13 ground balls. Been able to try to capitalize. Down low, it goes to 24. Ella Thorson sets it down low. Looks across, just a 2-goal deficit here in the second for the Huskies. Thorson, excellent hockey player. On that first line last year for the Huskies. Now moving it back out, try to go and start up. They're going to send Thinnis back to the Y spot, I believe, to start. Yep, and that foul will get her a run from the Y spot. Here comes Addie Thinnis. They send her back even more as the time continues to click here. South of 7. Now we're ready. Sends it back to Thorson. Thorson scoops it up. Shadowed there by defender. Makes a little spin cycle move. And now a push coming against the Crimson. This will give Thorson a free run from about the 8-meter. At about the side hash. Thorson a chance to cut the deficit to 1. Has it here. Tries to go inside now. Steps back. Looks again. There's Lensmeyer. Sets it down low. And again trying to find an opening there. We'll get another whistle. And now we'll reset. Thorson once again. Sets back on the drop. Moving inside, unable to control. Trying to pick it back up and put it on, but denied there. And a nice move by Querum. A quick stick
Riley Klein does not like Chick-fil-A.
Oh, from that goalie. Stick there. Gathered up. Crimson on the move.
Volleyball, tennis, hockey, and lacrosse.
Crimson there. We've got a trip. Thorson will be whistled for that trip. And that will allow there at this time now Iverson to get the free possession once he gets the ball back. It's all cradled up, and here we go. Quickly trying to reclaim that 3-goal lead are the Crimson. Back up top and back again to Lillian Iverson. Little weave up top. Trying to get a little flow going. There's 3 across. They're ready to defend the Huskies. Like you can work that weave up top. We've got this wall set. Now they maneuver. Try to get spacing. Try to put a shot on. Hits a stick. Rattled. Ball loose near the goal crease. Now scooped back up and brought out by the Crimson. Crimson fake right. Go left. Finds a seam. Scores! 5th goal of the game. A little weave. Little shake and bake activity up top. And finally, they find the gap.
Number 7, Saucy Van Wick for Maple Grove. Number 21, Emma Collins enters the game for the Huskies.
Good maneuver, good spacing, and the Crimson back up to a 5-2 lead. We got a moment here that I believe was going to get credit to Dunn. If so, that's her 4th goal here this afternoon. We can take a look also just right after we finish with this face-off and maybe take a look at the state rankings as they exist here, and the latest ones that have just come in from mid-May from the Star and Tribune. Face-off controlled by the Crimson. They're going to move in quickly again. Tough to take the eye off because they convert quicker than a hiccup.
Maple Grove goal number 7, Saucy Van Wick.
Goodness, take another look at this one. Setting it up, finding the seam,
Is a student
and then snapping that one off. Number 7,
she told Brad that she
Saucy Van Wick. Goal number 31 for her
was at Disney World.
this season. Van Wick, impressive. Last season, she had a 3-goal game against Andover. Done a 2-goal game. As last season, Maple Grove defeated Andover 14-3. So now a 6-2 margin. Advantage goes to the Crimson here as we have 3:45 to go in the second. Van Wick works it down below. He kicks it back up. We mentioned Dunn with a series of goals tonight. She's quickly moved up into the top 10 in scoring in the state, and another goal. Capitalizing. Finding the seam, getting in front, and finding the back of the net. The Crimson continue to increase the margin.
Scored for Maple Grove, number 16, Hadley Kudlow.
That will be number 16, Hadley Kudlow.
Entering the game for the Huskies, number 5.
For Hadley Kudlow, her 11th goal. She's actually committed to go to Alabama next season. University of Alabama, Huntsville, rather, for the juniors. So she's got one more year. But Kudlow, who's just scored the goal, her 11th of the season, the 7th here in the first half for the Crimson. And again, that coming from Hadley Kudlow. We take a quick look at the state rankings here as well as we look and transpire, as the state rankings currently still have Lakeville South. But we are now making a run here. It's some activity and more. Crimson moving in. And we can take a look at those as we come back from the half. Why don't we do that along with our standings in the Northwest Suburban Conference. What a tilt set for Wednesday. We'll talk about that. Spinning, cycle, move, blow, go. Wow. A counter again with 2:25. Goal number 8 on the night. Finding the bottom of the garage door there. Just getting it underneath the stick of Morgan. As you get another look. Stopping on a dime. Spin cycle. Low. Under the door and bam. Another impressive goal, a maneuver here for the Crimson. 8-2 lead with 2:25 to play. You mentioned the team has some scoring juice as they take it down in front. Now weave, cut it. Look for the seam, and now they'll exhale. Meanwhile, the Crimson trying to disrupt any score push or formations here by the Crimson. Pushed back out, and that's going to be a foul whistled on Andover. Foul that'll be awarded in a run from the 12-meter arc. Crimson fake, that quickly closed up, bracketed there, trying to force the turnover. Thought they had it, but now there'll be the whistle. Looking up and charging in to try to force that turnover with Schreifels. Whistle there, 1 minute, 30 seconds left in this first half. 8-2 lead, the largest of the game so far here for the Crimson. A little feed and cut inside near the goal crease. They're going to award that ball to the Huskies.
And of course, Aaron Walsh's favorite color is green.
Near side here comes a run. Trying to bring a little scoring punch here. The Huskies desperately need it, down by 6. Maya Engler. Engler with 12 goals this season. Has it, 45 seconds left in the half. Engler sends it back, working it near side. Goes over to Atkinson. Back again to Schreifels. I believe that might be Thinness. Near side, rotation now coming out from the X spot in front. Tried to center, disrupted there by the defense of the Crimson, and they are on the run. Trying to make a push up the field, 15 seconds, near midfield. Trying to gather that ground ball, scoop it up, it plops back high in the air, and that is going to take us to the end of the first half. An 8-2 lead here for the Crimson from Maple Grove, looking to move to 8-2-1, taking on the Huskies. We'll return with a recap here just before the start of the second half. Well, right now at the end of the first half, it's an 8-2 lead for Maple Grove, with that lead over the Andover Huskies and girls high school lacrosse. Coming your way, QCTV. Second half, moments away.
The City of Andover maintains over 8,300 signs within the city. Street signs, warning signs, park signs, you name it. With that many signs, there's bound to be signs that need replacing. I joined Lucas in the sign shop to see what it takes to make and replace a sign.
Basically, it depends on the situation. Any sign there's certain signs that are required for certain areas of the city. So we just had a new roundabout go in on Prairie Road. That entailed, I believe, over 75 signs just at one intersection. So every sign has its place and importance, and it's got a rule behind it, and it's there for a reason.
All of the signs are fabricated in-house, which saves money over buying signs and gives them flexibility to create and replace any type of sign that is needed quickly.
In the computer, we have all the saved files of all the Minnesota signs that are to be out in our streets, but we also have software where we can create our own signs. Like if you go to any of the parks, there's a huge park sign when you pull in saying which park it is and all that. So that's all made here, and there's not any signs we purchase outside. Everything starts from a blank and we just go from there.
Lucas walked me through the process of making a sign.
So the first step at making a sign is most signs are already saved in our system on the computer. So you just pull them up, and then we have a large printer and they're all printed out. Then they're pressed and put on, and then we install them in the field. It's kind of cool the way it cuts it. It just has a tiny little needle that drops down and makes the lines. So this material has 2 layers to it. You'll see it when we have to call it's called weeding. We have to separate what actually goes on the sign to what we just end up having to throw away. So there's 2 layers of the material. You'll see that one side's the adhesive and the other side's kind of just a backer that's keeping all the adhesive to the material. And we'll step over to this. This is our roller table. It's got air pressure that higher and lowers the drum here. It's all just air driven. This is our transfer tape. This is what will separate the vinyl from the backer that it's currently on. And this is how we'll then transfer it onto the real sign. And we just pull the stop sign through. So every sign is always cleaned first and degreased. DG3, that gives the signs the shine that they have when you're driving at night or whatever it may be. So you lower your drum down. Trim all the edges off. So that's all that's done, and you got your shape. So then we switch to using basically a glass cleaner and just make sure your surface is clean again. Otherwise the vinyl can peel off if you don't have the clean surface. Any sort of dirt or dust will kind of prevent that adhesive from sticking to this the way it should. And this is kind of the final step. So every sign is essentially done in this same exact process. That's it. A sign like this one is one of the custom ones we just made. And it takes just to peel between all the letters. This sign took 45 to 50 minutes just to do one sign because of how small everything is, and taking it out isn't always that easy depending on what material you're working with. So even though it's a smaller sign than what a stop sign is, stop sign will take like 2 minutes. So just a difference in comparison that not all signs are the same.
Then we were off to switch the old and faded for the newly made.
So right now, even pulling up to it, you can see there's no reflectorization to it at all. Yep, very faded.
As part of the process in replacing signs, they use an iPad to keep records and track the thousands of signs within the city, along with the engraved unique numbers showing when it was replaced and where it's located.
This is the post puller, and we just move it over and it'll lift the sign right out of the ground to install for the new one. It's the new one we just made. Can show you the difference. Yeah, I believe if there's a broken sign in the city or somehow it should be repaired in some way, there's a way to go on our website and report it, and then we'll get notification of that, and we'll be sure to come take a look and make things right as soon as we can. Especially if it's a warning sign of something. If it's a stop sign, we make it a priority to get out there and fix it.
So make sure you stop, stay safe, and see those road signs.
Andover Huskies girls. You're going to look at Brad Geist, the head coach for the Andover Husky girls, giving some insight. He's done a tremendous job with this program as he tries to kind of get things swayed here, and they're immense amount. Let's take a quick look here as the rankings stay here. And impressive setup here, of course, Lakeville South. These were the latest ones we had from the Star Tribune. Of course, Benilde St. Margaret, they just tied with Maple Grove last week, but it's also the same team that knocked Maple Grove from the section championship last year. They're currently number 2. Prior Lake, number 3, an opponent that Maple Grove lost to just a couple of weeks ago, followed by Eden Prairie, a team the Crimson lost to by 19-18, followed by Stillwater. There's Champlain Park. Now, one heads up is that's who Maple Grove will be taking place. Thank you, Trinity, and thank you, team, for the look at the top 10 rankings here in the state. The next big matchup here for the Crimson, that will come on Wednesday, and that's coming against the Champlain Park team, an impressive Champlain Park team that has a couple of twins in the top 10. In fact, one of the rankings here has the Hagenbart, I believe Reese is the goalie, and she currently leads the state in wins with 12. They are 12-0, Champlain Park. That will be a good one to catch, and they play Wednesday versus Maple Grove. Thanks for joining us here as we are early into this third senior night. And the chance there hits the bar on the far side. That was a snapshot, a hard one indeed. Almost found its way to the back of the net, deflected back up. Literally there with Isaacson. Isaacson, by the way, was credited with a goal. Jade Isaacson, for Isaacson, her 11th goal. The other goals scored from Maple Grove in that second half include three from Riley Dunn. Dunn now with a total of 46 goals this season, and also Sosie Van Wyck. They gave us number 1, but I think it was 7. In fact, I have someone here next to me from Maple Grove who confirmed it was number 7, and we just have another goal, the first of the second half, scored by Maple Grove. That may have been Van Wyck. If that's Van Wyck, that's her 4th goal of the game. Again, done with 3. Kudla had a goal, as did Isaacson. First goal here of the second half, and it goes the way for Maple Grove, and they now have a 9-2 lead. Their first goal of the game came 44 seconds in. Nope, run underneath to the side. The Huskies try to counter. Lensmeyer with the goal. Schreifels with the other goal. And the Huskies try to space it out. Schreifels starts, goes right, now kicks back, trying to find an opening there. Back to the Y spot, now cutting back in, looking for a scoring channel here, and it's worked back out to the side and denied. Nice defense there by the Crimson. Full complement. They have strong defense, as I mentioned, allowed just 85 goals on the season. Moving it back in. Quick surge push. Deflected out of the pocket that time of Lensmeyer and ends up in possession of the goalie, Abby Querum. Querum again will be heading to Northern Michigan University to play lacrosse next season. She comes into the goals against a 8.53 and one shutout. Pass up through midfield. Unable to control, but Thinnis will initiate movement here just as soon as the whistle allows. The 4 quarters, 4 separate quarters this year, well received by many of the coaches. He gives them an extra timeout instead of just playing the 2 halves. Near side here, and now the Huskies trying to reverse the field. They tried to get it to Thinnis. Thinnis got it off the deflection, and now she's on the run. She is chased by a couple of Crimson players, gets a nudge from the back, and they'll whistle that violation, and will set it up on a free possession here just outside, about the 25, I believe. No, they're going to let it roll through, and now outside the 12-meter fan. Near it there, cutting in, inside the 8, trying to find an opening, trying to find a scoring channel. Here are the Huskies. They trail by 7 early in this third. Yeah, from the Y spot. I believe that might be Thinnis. Yes, it was. Once they turn the angle just right, the numbers come out a little bit more articulate. There's a give and go. Boom. Cut down below. Goes to the lower 90. Finds a low side to beat Querum. And Maya Engler picks up goal number 13 for her on the season and the Huskies. 3rd goal of the night. The first here of the second half. And now they face cutting that deficit to a 6-goal deficit to overcome. But for Engler, some good flow, good movement that time by the Huskies, and they optimize that opportunity and find the back of the net. Huskies trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Their last win was a 12-4 win over Spring Lake Park back on May 1st. Delage in that game had 5 goals, 1 assist. Collins had 2 goals. Delage earlier this season in the win over Anoka came up with 8 goals and 3 assists. Lensmeyer 2 goals in that Anoka win, 13-6 back on April 24th. Now on the move, cutting in front of the goal crease, now back out again to the Y spot here for Crimson in front. A one-timer, loads up and snaps that one off. Did not even bring the stick down. Had it in the stick, a quick catch and release. And finding the back of the net, the Crimson, they're in double digits now with a 10-3 lead. 6:47 to play in this third.
Entering the game for the Huskies, number 14, Lily Crandall.
Here you can see a good pass, clean pass there. And as I mentioned, the 10th goal for the Crimson here tonight. Again, they're averaging 14 goals a game. Trying to get themselves ready to take on the 12-0 Champlain Park Rebels on Wednesday night in Champlain Park. That will be a very challenging section as they finish the regular season at the end and then have their coaches' seatings. But you're going to have Benilde St. Margaret's. You're also going to have Maple Grove, Champlain Park, all in that section. I believe Centennial as well. Moving it near side, keeping it up top around the 20. Strategizing, watching, getting everyone ready to move. Fake on the move, now stop, redirect, shot here, misses the net altogether. Morgan was in the right spot, good time. I couldn't tell if that was deflected or not. We're at 6 minutes left here in the third. The 7-goal lead continues here for the Crimson. In front, deposited. Nice block and a save there. Denied by Morgan. Point blank opportunity. Turned away by Lucy Morgan. Morgan came in with a 2-5 record. Also goals against about 10. Save percentage near 500. Looking for a clean outlet pass here. Waving the wand and moving on by there that time, trying to get that open pass was Riley Klein. Now making a run. Here comes Addison. Addie Thinnis takes it near side. Now drops it. And they'll work it up top. At the top of the perimeter, now back down to the Y spot here. Will they'll reset to take it to the X spot to Thinnis. Addie Thinnis surveys everything in front. Hits the scoring area here and now drops it back again. Critical scoring area there. Lensmeyer allows the teammates to kind of set a path, and she follows behind and finds it, buries it back of the net, a goal for Lensmeyer, her second. Lensmeyer's 12th goal of the season. And now back to just a 6-goal deficit again, 10-4 here for Maple Grove. But a nice formation that time for the Huskies as it's almost like they tunneled their way ahead and made a nice path for Lensmeyer. Good play design by head coach Brad Geis, and they find the back of the net and try to get a little mojo going. 2 goals for each team here in this third period, 4:30 remaining. Lensmeyer was going to take this draw at midfield. Lifts it high, deflected, and scoops up on the ground ball. And here comes Andover. Lensmeyer again tries to set things up on the far side of the field. Opens up that middle. Ball rolls free, scooped up by Andover on that far side. Back behind and rotating here at the Andover Athletic Center on senior night. Cutting in front, trying to set a pass. Beautiful setup, just beyond the reach of a teammate there. And just in the right spot in the pocket here for the Crimson. They are on the burst run now. Look out. They are dangerous. 10 goals already. Trying to add to that now. On the doorstep. Deflects, and it goes over the top of the crossbar. A good burst speed, and Morgan denies again for Andover. She has certainly been peppered here in these first 3 periods by this Maple Grove squad. Such a competitive Northwest Suburban Conference. In front, trying to give a no look. Drops it back, faking a shot here. Now moving it back in. That was Iverson who had the look, but deflects back out. in the pivot spot there, turns, fires, denied again, and stopped by Morgan. Good quick reflexes as she scoops up that rebound. And now we'll try to get an outlet pass. Clean outlet pass. Sends it to the 40. A good 25-yard pass ahead to the far side. That may be Thorson on that far side. A junior attacker. Recircles, gets the momentum flowing. Now down low, right on the doorstep, and that's turned away. Couple of excellent saves by both goalies. Another quick outlet, almost to midfield. From Querum, up ahead to the attackers for the Crimson. 2:20 to play in this third. 4 goals scored here in the second half already, 2 by each squad. Working it now to the near side. Again, back around, and at that X spot is the Crimson. South of 2 to play. Moving, looking for the cutter inside. Well defended there. The Huskies diffuse a good scoring opportunity. Now into the middle, a fray there, deflected ball, scooped up, controlled in the pocket there of a Crimson player. Cradling it, moving it, trying to cut the seam behind a runner in front. Nice give and go, and back and buried that one. Back of the net again for the Crimson. Goal number 11. Some great crisp passing. I believe we're going to see Dunn credited with that goal, but we'll get a replay here in just a moment. 1:29 to play here in the third, and they're back up to a 7-goal lead as we take a look here at the Northwest Suburban Conference in Champlain Park. Up top 7-0, but they are 12-0 already this season. Second place Maple Grove. And then you're looking at Elk River, Zimmerman, Centennial having an impressive year as well. Robbinsdale, Armstrong, Andover at 4-3. There's Rogers, Totino. Then you've got to look at Anoka at 1-6, followed by Coon Rapids. But again, those 2 top teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference, that's going to be a Wow Wednesday event. As those 2 teams get at it, those 2 Section 5 teams could meet again in the section finals, but of course that section again with Benilde St. Margaret. Just under a minute to play here in the third. It's an 11-4 lead for this Crimson squad tonight, looking unstoppable, looking to up their record to 8-2-1 if they continue their way here with that 7-goal lead. This almost seems certain. Huskies have possession. Addie Thinnis trying to move up top now, trying to find a cutter down below, moving in, denied, nope, shot, scored. They were going to call a penalty, but they get the goal. Again, do without the services, without 2. And also Merrill Delich with 32 goals this season, out with injuries for this game. And Lensmeyer here, she had just a scoring channel, probably just a flash of light, and she finds it for the hat trick. Congratulations, Eden Lensmeyer, her 13th goal of the season, pulling the Huskies back to Boxcar's deficit. 11-5 and 29 seconds left here in this third. Just a gorgeous evening. Girls High School Lacrosse here from the Andover High School Complex, and Monday Night Lights here on QCTV. Scooped up, trying to control. Finally, Crimson have it, but they're being chased. 15 seconds left. Huskies trying to force a bad throw or force a turnover deep in Crimson territory. They move it along up over midfield. Now the Crimson trying to counter with an attack of themselves, but an errant pass will let that roll beyond the end line, and that buzzer means we're at the end of the third. 11-5 the lead right now for the Crimson over Andover. Will return for the fourth quarter of girls high school lacrosse here on QCTV.
Hi, I'm John C. Strobel, author of Leaf Runner, a contemporary sci-fi thriller that explores what it might be like if you were to go back and live the lives of your ancestors. Mercer Evans is a classic underachiever who discovers he has this ability to go back into his past and explores it and comes face to face with some of his ancestral heritage that at first he doesn't know, he thinks it's dreams, but then he realizes what's happening. He also discovers that there are other people with the same ability who are actually trying to go back and change the past for their own benefit. And he becomes part of a group called the Leaf Runners who goes back and tries to protect history. And so it's a contemporary sci-fi thriller. It's suspenseful, fast-paced, exciting book. My book is, well, it's available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. There's also a Leaf Runner book on Facebook, which is an active social media site that I have. So there's information available there, and that has links to everything. So I would go to Leaf Runner book on Facebook.
Hi, this is Cole with Anoka County Ship, and I have a question for you. When was the last time you moved from your seat? Movement makes all the difference in living the healthiest life you can, especially if you're working from home or the office where you're probably sitting down all day. So whether it's getting up for a cup of coffee or walking over to check out the window, a little bit of movement can make a lot of difference for your health. So get up and get moving with Anoka County Ship every day at goanokacounty.org. Thanks.
We are back now for the fourth quarter. Girls high school lacrosse. It's the Crimson from Maple Grove with an 11-5 lead over Andover. Goals at quarter for Maple Grove consisted of Isaacson picking up her second. Van Wyck picked up a goal. She now has 4 goals on the evening and 3 assists. And Dunn also picked up her 4th goal of the night, and that is her 47th goal of the season for Sosie Van Wyck. That is her 34th goal to go along with 23 assists. That's an adequate season. But kidding, of course, a spectacular season by both. Let's take a look at the Maple Grove Crimson schedule. Here's what's left. They've got 2 power games left. Champlain Park, that's coming Wednesday. And then they end their regular season against Wayzata, and one of those teams you saw in the top 10 here rankings. What a power schedule ahead here for the Crimson. 3 games this week after this Wednesday on Champlain Park. And then again, they'll take on Wayzata. Wayzata also in that section. I'll tell you, you want to talk about, you got to have some confidence coming out of that section and taking it, heading into the state tournament, ready for a Prior Lake or Lakeville South as well. So, Huskies control top here of the perimeter. They're moving left to right here in the fourth. Find themselves down by 6 goals. Lensmeyer picked up the Hattie. She got the hat trick in that third. And Maya Engler also picked up the goal. That was her 13th of the season for Engler. And the junior still on the trail, trying to make a move here. It's disrupted and knocked out of the pocket of the Husky attacker there with just under 11 to play. Got Logan on the camera, on one of the two cameras down below as well. Trinity directing back at the station. Great job, Trinity. Joe Rulin here live from the Andover Athletic Field. And we are watching the Crimson make another run. Here they come. A burst upfield. Do a good job spacing. Good passing. Execution. Bottom of the net. That was like a tic-tac-toe and a goal for the Crimson. That may have been Van Wyk. We'll get another look right now. Pass ahead, stopping, popping. Van Wyk gets the nickel. 5 goals tonight for Van Wyk. For Van Wyk. And Van Wyk now 35 goals on the season. You heard about the 4 from Dunn. With Dunn, that moves her in as top. She's now 7th in the state in goals scored this season. Last season, she had 24 goals, including a couple of goals against Andover in their 14-3 win over the Huskies in 2023. Here's the draw. Good balance there by Lensmeyer to keep her legs after being accidentally tripped from behind. Huskies try to cut into this. They have had a 7-goal deficit a couple of times here tonight. See if they can cut into it and get some momentum going as section play just around the corner. Lensmeyer cuts through, and what a beautiful save. Getting something on that. I believe it had to be Querom as a burst move by Lensmeyer. She saw the opening, matriculated the ball down, but just couldn't close it after the nice save by Querom. Now on the move, Van Wyk. Van Wyk ahead. Maybe Dunn there. Dunn redirects, moves it back to the far side, now to the X spot. To Van Wyk, where she'll set up that offense. Motioning inside. Looks for that scoring channel in front. Now jams it down, and persistent that she's going to get that shot off. She did. Hit the back, and it was a goal that was scored, but they'll wave it off as it was waved on a foul by the Crimson, so no goal. It stays at 12-5. Andover near side. Trying to counter and reciprocate a goal. They get things moving near side. Moving right, left to right in the white. Andover comes in with a record of 4-7. Engler with a goal tonight. She had a 3-goal performance earlier this year against Blaine, in which Andover picked up a 16-3 run. In front, just a bit behind Engler on that pass, as she was open for a moment. Outlet pass. Hits the turf, bounces its way out of play, and it will be Thinnis. Addie Thinnis getting set for this throw-in. Makes the quick move. Gets by the defense. Reverses the field. Kicks it back. Defensive-wise, there momentarily to Riley Klein. Defensive side, they reverse it back. And they just missed, would not execute that. That pass attempt there was deflected by the forwards. And the attackers of the Crimson whistled there. The pass attempt, unfortunately for the Huskies, by Aaron Walsh, that was knocked down by the Crimson. They're going to quickly counter, try to put some pressure on, and they do. More than just pressure, they scored. I didn't see it get by or released. Their largest goal of the night now at 13-8. Moving in was done. She faked that shot initially, went around far side, and then went low side to beat it. You can see just maybe between the legs there of Morgan. Through a lot of traffic, it was able to navigate its way through some legs and to the back of the net to beat Morgan. And for Dunn, I don't know that she is done, but she's certainly picked up another goal. And for Dunn, that's a nickel for her. 5 goals for Dunn. She'll up the ante on the season out of 48. 13-5 lead here as we approach 7 to play in this fourth quarter. Across the field now, Van Wyck will set up camp. He's at the Y spot, Van Wyck. Working it up again there, averaging 14 goals a game. There's Maple Grove. Trying to move in and then kick back out that time on an attempt by Iverson. Initially, that first goal of the game, they thought it was Iverson, but I think their number was messed up because that 1 looks a lot like a 7. And that was given to Van Wyck. There we go. Continuing, they're now at their average for the season.
Entering the game for the Huskies, number 44, Annabella Olsen.
14-5, and you get a look here at the upcoming broadcast coming your way here on QCTV. That is tomorrow. Jim Erickson and myself will be bringing you Irontown taking on Champlin Park. Champlin Park, the top seed in their section. And then meanwhile, the next day on Wednesday, another great matchup. Boy, the Andover Huskies girls softball team, just outstanding. I thought they may have picked up that 1 seed in their section, but that was given to Forest Lake. And Andover, the number 2 seed, they'll be taking on Duluth East in their first section game coming up on Wednesday. Those are certainly must-see TV on QCTV. Champlin Park and Andover girls softball team, certainly something you got to catch. Some great talent, great skill as they both make a run to a trip to the state tournament. Circling up above, another snap, filthy looking shot that time. Rallies that one by and snaps it past Morgan. Goal number 15 on tonight here, 15-5. We now have running time with 5.5 to play here in this fourth. To get another look here. Good burst. Just gets that first step, gets the edge. And the good avenue there to close it up. The Crimson en route to their 8th win of the season. They'll take the draw at midfield.
Hot dog giveaway at youth night.
Controlled. Keeping the movement on, some whistles, but they'll continue to play through. Angler moves it down lower side now to the X spot. Not the result that Andover is looking for on senior night here, but tell you, it's a couple of injuries, key injuries to Micah and Delich, puts them out for a couple of games. There's an injury to one of the Crimson players. Been out for a couple of games now already and out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury. That was to Juliana Zick, a senior defender. Tough for her to lose that senior year to an injury. Lensmeyer with the Hattie at the wing position here, just outside the perimeter. Looks to go deep, misses on a pass attempt down below, I believe, to Thorson. 3.5 to play, as I mentioned, time running here. It's a 10-goal lead for Maple Grove, led by first-year head coach Grace Ford. She was an assistant for a series of years before taking over. Scramble ensued here. Trying to emerge from that scramble. Van Wyck dishes it down low and scoops it just under that garage door again, catching it low. Good hands, Van Wyck with another assist. I have her for 5 assists on the night to go along with her 5 goals. Picking it up and putting it away. It was probably done as far as I could see here. Yes, it definitely was done. Thank you for that close camera shot, team. So Dunn's got 6 on the night. Boxcars or a 6-pack, however you want to say it. It's impressive outing for Dunn, as she has hit 50 goals already on this season. 2 and change to play here in this fourth quarter. Crimson will emerge as the winner here with an 11-goal lead. A whistle. Foul called here on the Crimson as the Huskies were looking to make a move and reciprocate that most recent goal by the Crimson. I believe this is Engler. From a 12-meter arc. Oh, what a blistering shot. Blistering shot that the laser put by the senior goalie for the Crimson, Querim, and that's the 2nd goal of the night for Engler. Her 15th of the season. And with 1:20 to play, it's now just a 10-goal deficit, trying to bring it back to at least single digits. 16-6 now for the Crimson, as the Huskies answer. You see more action coming your way here on QCTV. The next couple of nights, you're going to see some fantastic, rather afternoons. Softball, Champlain Park taking on Irondale. Section 5 play, and then the Andover Huskies. A team that ended up in a 3-way tie with the Northwest Suburban Conference, but their first Northwest Suburban Conference share of a title in the history of the Huskies fast pitch softball team. They ended up knotting it up with Champlain Park and Rogers. Connie Huberty doing a great job there. So be sure to join those next 2 afternoons here on QCTV. 4:30 start times for both of those fast pitch softball matchups in postseason. 15 seconds, that's what's remaining. 16-6 lead. The Huskies say we got to get one more. Nice save there by Querim as the Huskies came in full throttle on an attempt. Deflected back out near midfield. Picked up on the scoop. Last second shot here. One hopper ends up with a save there for Lucy Morgan. And this is a 16-6 win for Maple Grove. The Crimson moved to 8-2-1, led by a couple of 6-goal performances by both Dunn and Van Wyck, and an outstanding goal performance by Querim. The Huskies were led by Eden Lensheimer. She had 3 goals, and Engler had 2 goals on the night. Again, the final tonight on this QCTV Monday Night Lights girls lacrosse presentation. It's Maple Grove 16 and Andover 6. Thanks to Trinity back in the studio and the crew out here making the shoots and everything possible. I'm Joe Rulett for QCTV. Thanks for joining us. Have yourself a major league evening at a minor league price.